Afreeca before, and we've been sad.
It's a chance, but they're already guaranteed playoffs. So the only thing we need to see from this team is to see them have consistency. Like, this game 2 needs to be as decisive as that game 1. Good draft, good synergy. Make sure that Mowgli and Spirit are both up to par. Spirit looked good in that game 1. Now we want to see Mowgli look good as well, so that in a playoff match or in a future match, if anybody starts dropping the ball, you can sub in the replacement or the alternative jungler and make sure that you have a good synergy between them, that you don't start dropping games because somebody has a poor performance. So Afreeca just needs to have consistency here, and we'll be happy with that one. Whereas Ever, you know, win or lose, yeah, we're going to expect them to lose. Just a smile. Can we get a smile out of Ever?
One smile. One share or one like means one smile for Ever8.
I just want to see, like,
they don't ban out Alistair.
The thing is, Malorang's body language just, oh, it's painful to see.
Yeah, it's definitely rough being at the bottom of the stack here in LCK. No ban onto Alistair, but they will play Thresh into the Alistair. Some Chinese fans from R, no surprise there. I can't read that for you guys. I don't speak Chinese. How about you, Crumbs?
I did take Chinese, actually, in 10th grade. I took one class, and I had to beg the teacher to not fail me. I tried to copy off everybody, and they didn't let me because they thought I didn't deserve it. That guy was weird. I still don't like him to this day. And then
you don't deserve it,
the girls made fun of me. I still passed, though.
How did you pass?
And I learned. Well, that's a mystery that we won't know forever, but I do know how to say ni hao, so
yeah, me too.
And xie xie.
Funny how that works.
And zaijian. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. We got our Chinese expert here on the desk.
I believe he said ni hao xie xie zaijian. So
yeah. Okay. There you go. I mean,
said,
it's
hello,
good to
goodbye,
see.
Thank you.
You're preparing for our LPL overlords, as they have overtaken LCK as the best region in the world after their win in Rift Rivals. Working on your Chinese, Crumbs?
Eventually. You know, that's the reason why I signed up there. I was told eventually the Chinese will rule the world, will be the most dominant in the world. You need to learn this language so that you get acclimated. And in hindsight, I really wish I stuck to it. I wish I wasn't such an angsty teenager and would have actually learned it. It would have been a life-changing skill to have, legitimately. Dude, if John Cena learned Chinese, I think I should be learning Chinese. John Cena knows Chinese. John Cena raps in Chinese, okay? Yeah, he knows what's up. That is yes, he does. Yes, he does.
I will not believe that until I see it.
All right, bet me.
No, I'm not going to bet you.
Won't you?
I don't know anything about it.
John Cena raps in Chinese.
All right, I'll have to check it out later.
Yeah. Because they encourage WWE wrestlers to expand outside of that. You know, you have a bigger fan base. It's better for WWE. It gets global. They go to events overseas. So he knows how to speak Chinese. You know, you've got The Rock. He's an actor.
Yeah, these guys are multi-talented, I suppose.
Speaking Chinese is a huge asset. Same with any other Asian language. I really wish I would have learned it.
You got to get on that Korean hype train then. That's an Asian language for you to learn.
True. And I am living in Korea.
Yeah,
so I should
so
learn.
It would be a good start for sure. We have a bunch of 80 carry bans taken away by the side of Afreeca. Kramer's going to be playing Xayah once again, his most played ADC in Summer Split. We got Tushin on another big engage support, as is the way of things nowadays. To Xayah Rakan.
The Xayah Rakan, but now that they have an Orianna, it means that Ever's early game ship needs to get to the destination immediately. You've got Lucian and Jace. If you're not winning early, like last time around where they lost it, they're going to fall deep behind, and it's not going to be possible for them to come back into this with a composition that has no tools to find and engage with the 3 picks already. Maybe a Gragas in the jungle. Oh, yeah. If Rek'Sai is in, it's all early game, and I feel for Ever here. They're trying to but look at this. He's not even. Oh, come on, Malorang. you know, I used to coach. Like, I think this is really important. Having composure, good body language, posture, it helps you. You know, the whole fake it till you make it. You were telling me that if you feel uncomfortable with something, you can just raise your hands above your head, tell yourself you're the man, and you'll come out feeling like $1 million. That's what we need.
The power
to do
pose.
Yeah, that's what we need forever. Like, they're so depressed. Of course they're not going to play to their best of their ability. We saw the best of their ability day one, where they hadn't had or experienced a loss. They were the winningest team in Challenger. They come here, get brought back down to reality, and they can handle it, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's definitely been rough for them. They have had some wins. One of their wins was over the Rocks Tigers, was actually a 2-0, and that was a day where we actually did see some smiles on their faces. Yeah. Malphite coming in, okay.
You pick 4 AD.
Yeah, you pick 4 AD, and Marin says, well, hello, this pick still exists. I'm going to play Malphite.
Yeah, and look at it. Malphite Orianna, the most classic combo to grace League of Legends.
Not to mention the other engaged tools you have, the Maokai and the Rakan, as if they were lacking anything. No, they got some AP on their side. They have Jhin, who will start off with a Doran's Ring.
Oh, yes, the captive audience will be devastating, as well as the Prey Seeker. Whoa! I think it even got changed to physical damage. I'm not entirely sure. I do know, however, that Ardent Blaze from Lucian is magic, as well as your Hammer Shot.
Okay, so we have some options.
And the electricity on Jace's W.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. That's the play. He's just going to go in and jump onto the bat. Yeah, he's going to electrify them with his Tesla pole. We'll see if that works out. I sure hope it does. We need to see some more smiles on this side. So, Accepted with his head in his hands, thinking about how he's going to deal with this one. There was actually a huge shout out from the crowd and everybody as they saw the Malphite, but you hit the nail on the head. It's like, well, you guys called for it. You picked 4 AD. You want to play against Malphite? I mean, you'll have your Malphite. Sure, it'll make for an interesting game, no doubt. I'm definitely looking forward to this pick, and I hope it leads to some pretty crazy situations. The Kuro-Marin synergy is going to have to be on point. Also got Mowgli going in there, as well as Tushin. Kramer to backing up. We'll see if Ever8 can put up a fight against Afreeca, or if Afreeca will get a 2-0 victory.
Kuro!
Oh, he gets locked down. Oh no! Oh. Good shot. Good showmanship. Good work. At least they do get the flash and the heal out of Kuro. So they've got a shot here where Malrong can try to make something happen with Septed. But again, Septed no CC from his side. So it'll be all up to Malrong.
His CC is the exhaust, though, so he does have that tool. We need Malrang to gank mid lane early, but now that Thresh has no flash, he's also susceptible to dying into the bottom lane. You got Mowgli that can gank him. And we're going to just look at them.
The stats here.
Stats there.
He has 46 armor.
Yeah, you know you can look that at the bottom left corner, too.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I was reading the Korean. Also has 19 AP to start.
Yeah, it's probably just AP Quince.
Pretty interesting. Do have that Doran's Ring start here on Duel, as is the way. Who was it that first brought that in? I forget.
D-Ring?
Yeah.
Probably some solo queue dude.
But I mean, like, on the competitive stage.
Not LCK. It was elsewhere, because we were pretty late on 7-14.
I see. Okay, we got an engage here at level 1. Very aggressive, actually, is this Afreeca bottom lane. Not pulling any punches, saying, okay, we're confident to take this level 1 trade against the Jhin.
So if they're being aggressive now, this is asking for Mowgli to end up ganking this lane. The junglers have spotted each other, so it's not going to be that easy, but here we go.
Again, here we go. Nice play, and all of a sudden, Kramer getting way too low. I don't think there's enough damage. There's a lot of feathers going out, though. The hook is going to mean his death. And that death sentence will mean first blood into the play. And all of a sudden, what's going on in the bottom lane? Here comes Malrong to follow that up, and 2 kills already to start the game.
Oh, but Malrong goes for the flash on that one, and I actually would have hoped to see that not happen. Let Duel just get the kill. You threaten because it's still a level 2 Rek'Sai. You remember he tried to go for the invade onto this blue buff, and now since he doesn't have flash, ganking Kuro is going to be a lot harder, and the punishment on level 1 is not going to be paying off. I think they could have gotten the kill on Tucson by himself, but nonetheless, they do walk away with the blue buff, and now that they've fully committed to the bottom lane, it looks like Kuro can breathe a sigh of relief here, but expect Ever to focus on bottom lane even more.
I mean, they just walked straight into it.
It's a level 2 spike. They didn't expect a level 2 spike. That's literally it. They were too close when the minion wave was about to die. And then Ella just gets to walk up, Jin finishes the creep, and Flay comes out, and they're dead. That's a level 2 Rek'Sai gank. Damn.
That flash. That's what you like to see. Marin having trouble against this Jace lane so far. Early game hasn't built up that armor yet. Just a little bit of the Malphite struggles. And here comes Malrong, but Mowgli is nearby. Malrong with that Prey Seeker on the chase, saying, hey, these are my Krugs, not yours. Get your own Krugs.
Even with armor, this lane isn't that great for Marin. Jace has too much damage from afar. He needs quite a bit of items, and most of all, it's a wave clear that he needs. When he hits that Bamiyu Cinder, which I think it's what he's likely going to be going for, you can start clearing the wave, fighting back, and actually having sustained DPS when you're dealing with the likes of a Jace that will be jumping onto you in hammer form, just hitting you or whittling you away.
It seemed Malrong wanted to continue being extremely aggressive, but Mowgli had already gone for a back, playing it pretty passive, saying, okay, I mean, it's Maokai jungle up against a Rek'Sai. What am I going to do? 1v1. Just, I got to cede some of my jungle to him, and I'll just try to avoid him for now. Going over to his own Gromp.
He'll have to burn his TP pretty soon now.
He missed that creep. Taking a look here at mid lane. It's been a little bit Septed favored, as of course Kuro probably had to play a little bit passive, especially losing both of his summoners early game against the Rek'Sai.
So Marin has gone with full-on laning this time around, making sure that he can survive it. Especially going with the Tabi as the first item choice. He's going to be able to live for the gank, and we're going to see another gank bottom lane. Oh, yeah.
The bait. Nice flash there from Duel. Ella in a bit of trouble, though, as the Twisted Advance comes in. Will flash away. They get both flashes down, but no kills awarded to Afreeca.
Just did not expect Ella to still have his flash at that point. He blew it at level 1, so it was bound to come back up. It is there. It keeps him alive, and it would have been cool to see a play where he can react to that flash and pull him deep into the turret, but unfortunately, Mowgli just went too fast for him, flashed into the Twisted Advance, but nothing comes out of that gank except the Maokai gets to show his face, and now Keen goes for an invade. And if Ever wants to have a shot at this, it's going to have to be coming off from the pressure that Keen has, doing exactly what he's doing right now, because that pressure, he's not going to be able to use it to kill his lane. He's not killing Maokai or Malphite anytime soon. He'll only be able to kill the Jace, or he'll be killed if he gets ganked. But what matters is that if he can acquire wards and track what Mowgli's doing, it opens up the rest of the map to be aggressive. And that's what Ever need to be doing. They need to keep these lanes pushing, fighting, making sure that they can start trading some kills, looking for some advantages again on the map. But here's a Malphite. He's got flash and ult.
Okay, Malrong. There's that shockwave. Kuro and Mowgli going to pick up a kill. Now Septed in the mid lane. Waiting on that Twisted Advance cooldown. Not going to go for it. Was 2 seconds away, and Septed was too far away. And this time, Malrong's aggression doesn't pay off.
Yeah, that's too greedy there. You don't have pressure on your lanes. The Jace had not been there. Orianna was in a great position in the mid lane to be able to follow up on that one. So him being in that position, we'll look at the minimap at this time, right? He's looking for it. Where's his tunnel? Does he have tunnel?
You see him coming a mile away, too. I mean, he walks right past the ward, so
yeah,
definitely part of it. Didn't know he was being tracked. Unfortunate timing.
Just still have to wait for your lanes. Mid lane is so important there. always consider who can collapse first. If it's the enemy mid laner, chances are, unless you can 1v2, you probably shouldn't be there.
It's a good lesson for all of our boys in the chat, boys and girls who play solo queue.
I'm telling you, you remember the book Animorphs?
Yeah, I remember that.
The best League of Legends Animorph player would be one that could be a half chameleon.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you would just blend in,
No.
just be invisible.
No, I mean like you'd have one eye on the minimap and another one on the game all the time.
One of the less popular cool parts of being a chameleon, for sure. Duel, going to take that lantern out. Just a bit of trading, scuffling back and forth. Guro does have his flash. He's totally fine.
Listen, when people get called that they have a lazy eye, they're just jealous of the ability to see 2 places at once, okay?
I like your optimism. It's good to hear that out of a color caster. Don't get to hear that all the time. Okay, we got a big invade coming in. 4 members of Ever8 against 4 members of Afreeca, though. So it is even for now. Both top laners do not have their flash, and it looks like Ever8. Oh, the snipe! Malrong from downtown Preyseeker going to pick up the blue, as Mowgli didn't want to smite that away from his mid laner. Guro couldn't pick it up.
That's a big denial there, making sure that Rek'Sai gets that blue buff and Orianna does not. That opens up the map for mid lane, and he's not gone for any mana regeneration items. That's why it's even bigger. He's gone with Seekers to stay alive in that lane, and without blue buff, he's going to have to recall a lot sooner. We get to see what Septid is going to be doing here. That's not that's not going to do a whole lot.
If he was taking turret aggro, it would, but maybe he just barely got out.
The minions were still there, so I think he was hoping to kill the minion with the ultimate and force him to start tanking turret immediately, win that trade, but at least he forces out the recall out of Jace.
You were talking about Seeker's Arm Guard. Look at how low Kuro's mana is right now. Blue buff up against Septid would make a hell of a lot of a difference. He could push in the wave as Septid goes back home. Could look to make plays with that, but not going to be the case this time around.
But Afreeca don't need to make plays. They just need to wait this game out. They legitimately have no reason to be looking for fights anytime soon. They have Maokai. They've got Malphite against an all-AD composition. Wait for a couple of items, then team fight, win game, easy.
Definitely seems easy on paper. They're making it a little bit harder on themselves as their early game was not solid in the bottom lane specifically. Kramer and Tushin getting caught out. I believe one of the Afreeca members actually was quoted saying, hey, we get a little bit overconfident after winning our first game. I think it was Spirit who said that. I think they just have to keep their head in the game and play it as extremely serious. But again, it's hard to do that when you destroy your opponent in 27 minutes and it's not close.
But it's just funny to see how a team can be so self-aware of the flaws that they have and not fix any of them. Like, if it gets boiled down to the simplicity of we're just getting cocky, that seems like a pretty easy fix.
Ooh, flashing that one.
So I think it's more than them just getting cocky. It's legitimately just maybe a lapse in communication, etc. Ella's getting caught.
No shockwave, but it might not matter here. The flash, though, over the wall. Mowgli's still on the chase. Is there a blasting plant? No, the flake comes out. And there you go. The flash from Kuro to follow up will mean another kill. Ella getting a little bit too greedy going in for that one. Wasn't expecting the Maokai on top of the control ward.
But first brick does go to the way of Ever, which is the more important objective. So now they maintain a 2,500 gold lead, which is pretty nice. 2.3 now, rather. They are going to lose that mid lane turret, but they are, or bottom lane turret, but they do get to trade. So they're always one-upping what Afreeca is doing. This is a good early game from them. It's not the advantages that they hoped they would have had with those 2 deaths, and make that 3.
Oh boy, Keen, he's going to get caught out here. The quickness into the knock up with the grand entrance. That's going to be an easy pickup. Keen just getting out of position, and what might have been that Rift Herald,
just
not going to be anymore.
Why are they strolling that way? There's no need to be going on that side of the map, especially with the low mana and HP that Jace is already at. He wasn't topped off. He wasn't in no position to actually take any fight that would have come his way. And Malphite is not there. Orianna gets a collapse. They're just mimicking each other's errors.
Yeah, Ever8 still struggling in some parts of their macro and just decision-making in general. Have to be more on the ball with that one. They will have a lot of time if they do make it back into LCK after relegations to try to shore up their play for next year.
Let's take a look. No mana Jace is taking a
dead Jace.
Scenic route out of the red side jungle.
Very easy follow-up, just, again, being out of position. And that does shut down the Rift Herald try. And so now it's going to be Mowgli, who was previously bot lane helping out take down that turret, setting up all the vision around this Rift Herald now. Just a bit.
So they're just setting up. They're trying to get this advantage, but there is a Scuttle Crab here, and Orianna's not on the map, so I think they might still try to contest because Xayah is rotating. This could be a 5v5 scuffle.
The hook is going to come in. Mowgli in a bit of trouble, is going to use his ultimate to try to get out of this one, but he's not all that tanky. The snipe from downtown from Duel on the left side. Rift Herald is going to leash, but they do get that kill and should be able to take this Rift Herald.
Leash is back up. There is the combo available in about 5 seconds. Marin's ultimate is up in 3 now. Yep, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, you can see that Ever8 is definitely respecting this. They're trying to spread out as much as possible. We'll see how this goes down. Ella taking a bunch of damage. Marin, they're going to go onto Septed here. Can they actually take him out? No, it doesn't look like it. Not enough damage. Finally, they do take him out. And all the feathers coming back. Afreeca trying to take this 4v5. It almost works. Faker's still alive. Or rather, Kramer. Not the first time I've done that. Trying to get onto Malrong now. Here comes Kramer with that rep buff. Trying to get the slow here from Marin. Will he have the tunnel? The feathers come out and he does get sniped by Marin and Kramer, and the 4v5 works out in Afreeca's favor.
And it almost always works out in the favor of the team that is not starting the Herald. It's just like any other objective. If you are doing the objective and you don't have the plan to turn immediately, the other team can just choose to fight you and win that battle every single time. And Afreeca do so and never pay again. And that early game advantage is already mitigated. So we're going to look at it again. It's a 4v4, and they're spread out. They don't want to get hit by the shockwave. Here comes Septed, and the second he dashes in, they're like, all right, go into Lucian, make sure you delete him from the fight. But Rek'Sai just gets to join in right now, and the flash gets nullified by the Feather Storm from Kramer, so he gets to just go in right at the end. Sure, they get the Orianna, but the Xayah has been untouched. She is still just as strong as ever, and they're able to actually walk away with Malrang, and the Herald still alive.
Sniperino there at the end. Adding a little bit of flair, even though Dushin wasn't part of it. Now they're getting on top of Duel here. Should be a pretty easy follow-up with that ultimate. The shockwave. Kuro picks up the kill. Duel punished for his being out of position.
And this is a Duskblade Jhin, so already not going to be killing any tanks. That's not a tank. That's not a tank killer build, especially in the late game. So all eggs in the early basket, and it's not going to yield too much because now there's already a heap of armor on Marin. Maokai's starting to get there. Orianna is now trading for a tier 2, and they have no issues trading this turret for a Herald. They're going to try to harass him, but they know that they're giving it up.
You got to think, I mean, the Rift Heralds, it usually only gets one turret. It does give some extra gold now. I think it's 100 for the person who kills it, so there is more of an incentive to take the trade in favor of the Rift Herald, but was a nice tier 2 turret that they took out in the bottom lane, which means they can put some extra pressure down there. So looking to also take a Cloud Drake. Just a nice little extra bonus that they get on the backside.
Freecs is perfectly fine with all this. Sure, maybe you lose that mid lane turret with the Herald, but that'll only get the game to a place where Ever have to think about Baron more, and they're already feeling the armor that is stacking up on Afreeca. The composition that Afreeca has is pretty great against tanks, especially, or against all AD, especially the mid lane of Orianna. She's surprisingly good against AD carries because not only can you protect your tanks a little bit more, her armor itemization is pretty nice, and the range that she has against ADs is almost always going to result in her being able to trade some damage in return.
I mean, she can protect, but she also does attack. So definitely a key person for this lineup, no doubt. And, well, easy sidestep there from Kramer. Already a Thornmill built on the side of Marin. He's like, well, this is a pretty strong item nowadays, and you guys have only AD, so I'll just build this one and be totally fine.
Especially with the Grievous moves. I think that's the one thing that puts this item so over the top at times, where you just can't rely on your lifesteal anymore. It doesn't have a threshold where it's, oh, you're low enough. Sure. Imagine if Morello Nomicon had no threshold of the HP where it applied Grievous wounds. It would be incredibly broken.
I would welcome the change as a mid lane player myself.
Why would you?
You know, just chunk down basically everybody and they can't heal. Sounds good to me. Not so good for competitive play, though, unfortunately.
You'd be ruining the hopes of many, many players.
It's what I like to do in my solo queue experience. Okay, they're looking for Keen here as well as a dive up top. So there is the combination. Keen gonna take way too much damage even if he dives over that wall. Down he goes. The culling comes out in the top side so they can't take down that turret. Septed was smartly playing it pretty passively. He saw that dive coming, so he doesn't get caught out at least on the other side of the map.
Ever is breaking apart. They look lost at this point. I'm not sure what their MO is. They're clearly just reacting to what Afreeca is doing, and now Afreeca's got their sights set on Septed, and he's just chilling in the brush. Oh, if he doesn't get out of this, no, don't look for the 1v1. Septed, don't do it. Okay. Whew.
He's sticking around, but nah, they're not going to stick around on the opposite side. Septed the Sky, he showed tons of promise early on in Summer Split. He was one of the big new mid laners that came in alongside BDD, at least after game number 1 for all of these teams, as Ever8 looked quite great in their first showing, but things quickly fell apart for them.
Well, it's important to note that in the beginning of a split, it's always teams scrambling to be good, teams that have played for a while, maybe didn't have a long enough break, they're still getting into form, such as SKT, or even KT that was struggling a lot in the start, but then they recuperate, and they're capable of now being at the top. But a team like Ever, their hype, you know, it gets exaggerated a little bit when other teams aren't doing that well.
Yeah, it was just really cool to see this team that came up from Challenge and did so well in the first game. But as you said, those thoughts faded away eventually as the stronger teams did come out on top. Finally, this Rift Herald is used. Marin lurking on the right side, totally fine at this point to take trades against Keen. At least short ones, doesn't want to stick around too long against that sustained damage.
But we want to get creative for Ever8. How do they win this team fight? How do they win this game? You know, I want to say they can win it, but I also don't think they can.
You know, it's one of those points where you're like, well, there's a chance. It's where I'm like, no,
like,
you got a chance.
Legitimately, they really don't have a lot of damage here. They are going, it'll only get worse in terms of damage. So they need to outplay Afreeca macro-wise. They need to challenge the SKT, the God Jin Air at times. They need to challenge the ultimate macro play and win by lane assignment and moving accordingly. However, they don't even have enough wave clear to get priority in lanes. So Lucian can't push as fast as Orianna, same with Jhin, same with Jace. So not only are they slower at pushing waves, which already puts them on the back foot in terms of tempo, they're slower to rotate because their champions are slower, and they're dealing with armor and outscale.
Yeah, so, you know, you're talking about all those things, and I feel like it's really going to come down to someone on Afreeca making a mistake. Like, let's say Ever8, with some of the pick that they have, they can catch Kuro here. Then they can go into a Baron. They're going to try to go for it, but Zonius comes out. Here comes that twisted advance in on, and everybody's going to be caught up here. Oh, no! Ever8 just trying to get out of this one at this point. In comes Tamar, and there's going to be one kill. Make that a second as Thresh goes down as well. The entrance in onto Duel will be flashing away to make it onto that one, but Kramer in the backside takes out Septed. That's 3 for 0 in favor of Afreeca, and they're looking at a Baron.
What was I saying? Even though the fight was really forced from Ever, it just did not amount to any damage. The Zhonya's was already completed on Kura, and Ellie didn't even have to burn Flash or heal to live out of that one. And they tanked him under the tower. Duel's ultimate was the only thing that he provided for that team fight. And the second that Maokai collapses from the left and then Malphite from the right, you knew it was over. And we get to see the little surprise too when Kramer comes in and snipes out Septed right at the end.
Yeah, it was going to come down to that one big pick, right? You needed to catch one of these squishy members, and Kuro was the best target because Tushin on the Rakan, he's very mobile, right? The Xayah, she has Feather Storm, she also has her flash up, but Kuro he's a walker, right? Yeah. Like they call him, but he still had a lot of other tools available, but he was the weakest target, and they tried. I mean, they gave it a shot.
They did, but you know, I don't want to see him as if I'm painting it in a negative light. I just want to get, you know, it's all about the facts, the truth, the cold hard truth as to why the composition from Ever just cannot win at this point. You don't have any way of reaching Kuro. Who is actually going to kill Orianna and how? Thresh is not going to hit a hook on Orianna. She never needs to get in range. Jhin is not going to hit the Orianna unless she's by herself, as we saw last time, but we saw how that resulted. She can stall out quite well. Lucian can't 1v1 the Orianna at this point. Rek'Sai can't reach her. She can always just put the ball in and skittle away, so yeah. They don't have any ways of actually killing the carries or killing the tanks.
Yeah, it really comes down to, you know, League of Legends, a game played by humans. It's going to have to come down to the sickest catch of all time, and so perhaps some mistakes out of the side of Afreeca. So the hook onto Mowgli isn't going to do much. The inhibitor will go down. And they just don't have the tools to engage onto this one.
It's like you played rock, paper, scissors, Afreeca picked rock, and then Ever picked IKEA cardboard. Eventually, it just there gets to a point where.
But that's paper that wins against rock.
Oh. Wait. I was thinking too literally in like terms of physics.
Oh man, seems like Ever's got a chance then, I guess.
Oh god, yeah, I guess paper does beat rock. But rock breaks rock smashes the paper.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be, right? So we're figuring out rock, paper, scissors as we go along in this cast.
Boy, I was really proud of myself for that one. I was like, this is gonna be a great reference, Alberto. Say it, just wait for it, do it. Like, yeah, here we go.
Well, you did it. And so did Mowgli, as he's going to engage. And there they are going to catch Jace in the front, too, who almost goes down. The Ignite is ticking. Should get him on the backside. There it is, the last tick. Will get it, as well as the Thresh. In comes Marn on his Malphite with the help of the rest of his team. And that's just going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Another extremely quick game as Afreeca say, hey, Jhin Air, we're going to the playoffs. You're not. We're going to take out Ever8 as if it was the easiest games of our lives, and we are not inconsistent tonight, at least.
Signs of positivity for Afreeca. We finally get to see them at least smash Ever8, which we would have been severely worried if they did not perform the way they did tonight, but under 30 minutes, 2 games in a row, clean games altogether. A curious draft there with the addition of Malphite. Not like it really mattered, but overall, a positive result for this team. Looking forward to them entering playoffs. Now, they actually do have a chance to beat SKT in the standings if it so happens that SKT drop the games, but they don't care about SKT's future, just for themselves, and improvement is what we get to see from them, because if it comes to the gauntlet or playoffs where they face off against SKT, actually, they do have a winning record against them, and that's their best bet of making it to Worlds.
There's absolutely a good chance that they will do good against SKT, especially once you get into that crazy gauntlet format. Anything can happen.
Oh, no.
This is not Crumbs' favorite camera shot, but...
Gee, look, come on. Don't show me this.
We got a Bible thump in the chat, please, for all of our fallen members on the side of Ever8.
What cheers people up here? I'm not too acquainted with the intricacies of Korean culture, but what's a good way of tearing somebody up?
You got to go out and get some meat, some Korean barbecue. That's what you got to do.
No, like
drink some soju, get it off your mind.
give him a compliment for me. When you see him, be like, hey, cheer up, Buttercup.
Yeah, I'll make sure to. Yeah, I'll pass that along. I'll make sure that one is from Crumbs. I'll give him your number as well if you're interested. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out the replay.
This is Malrang looking for Mowgli and finds more than he bargained for, as he finds the Grim Reaper of Death, Kuro.
Ella making a similar mistake where he kind of just face checks an area of the map, not expecting anyone from Afreeca to be there.
They all took turns doing this. First it was Keen, then it was Malrang, or actually...
It was Malrang, and then Ella, and then Keen.
Yeah, so they followed suit. Sorry, forgot the order there, but they just wanted to outdo each other. We didn't get to see Duel do it, unfortunately, which is a little sad.
Septid kind of did it here. I mean, he knew where they were, but he dashed into this kind of composition. Generally not a good idea. That was a three-man route, actually, from Kramer, too.
Yeah, the Kramer play has been great. He's been playing Xayah a lot. That's why they practice it. They had those series where he played it 3 games in a row. They definitely prioritize him on Xayah, and he's the kind of player that just plays one champion and sticks to it. Previously, it was Ashe and Caitlyn. Now it's just Xayah.
I do like it. It's funny that a lot of these, well, I guess it's not that funny, but most of these highlights are members of Ever8 being caught. Like 4 or 5 of them were. So this is definitely a good VOD to go back and review for Ever8 and say, hey, we got caught about 4 or 5 times.
No. Well,
we took a bunch of bad fights and then we dove turret win behind. So
I don't think VOD review is in order for Ever8. Maybe a night out on the town where they can do something that makes them happy. You need the morale. You cannot underestimate morale. It's like playing FIFA. You know how you always pick the team that has 100% chemistry. You don't care about the other stuff. You're like, give me the team that has 100% chemistry. That is going to be the winning team.
I like your style. Well, 26 minutes this time around. That was even faster. Not the fastest game we've had in Summer Split, but extremely fast. Had 2 Cloud Drakes to help him out with that. Running around the map. Very, very fast. And shortly, guys, stay tuned. We will have our interview with the 2 MVPs of the series. You do know that Tushin was the MVP from game number 1, but MVP for game 2 is still a secret. So stay tuned. Get excited.
Spoil the secret.
Who's it going to be?
I can spoil it. I can see him with my bare eyes from here.
So can I. We're both looking at him. He looked at us. You saw that? He was looking at us.
Yeah, I did.
Just checking you out, Crumbs.
What? How is that?
He's like, hey, those casters over there, they're doing a good job. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and go into the interview. I'll hand it over to Jisung.
Hi, this is your translator, and here we have Tusin for the interview. So how do you feel? We made it to 2-0 games, so I feel I can make it to the postseason. So tell me about the cowbell. Well, I wasn't able to play it a lot, so I'm not really satisfied. So you showed great initiations. In what kind of situation do you open team fights? I think communication with your teammates is the most important fact. And then I have to check what kind of counter they have and also their CCs. Then how is the synergy with the Kallister and Alistar? Well, I feel more safe with Kallister, especially I can dive in and I can get out safely with Kallister ult. Then what are other strengths they have? I think it gives more strengths on the bottom lane. Then who do you think will be the MVP for the second set? Maybe me, or Malphite, or who was on the bus, the Oriana. I don't think he deserved the MVP point, but well, let's check it out.
Well, the MVP for game number 2 is going to be Kuro. 7-1-9, 100% kill contribution. His Oriana was a thing of beauty, as the rest of his team did help him out with this one.
You wouldn't expect the guy that got caught level 1 and had to burn both summoners to end up being the MVP, but he played it well from that position and had great team fights. And I love this Zhonya's right here being timed so well in order to make sure that his team can collapse. Hits a beautiful shockwave, and the rest is history.
And we're back with Kuro. And Tushin said you were on the bus, got carried. How do you feel? Well, he can think so, but I think I played well. And I picked Oriana for the team synergy. So I'm really happy right now. Well, you used up all your summoners in the early game. How do you feel? I told that I will be more defensive. So I play really defensively, but then I saw our bot laners dying, so I was really sad. I have nothing to say. He said he's the one who used the flash, but why did the bottom lane die? So I couldn't reply him. How was Kuro's performance today? I think he played quite well. So you are on the MVP point number 1. How do you feel? I think I did quite well in the first set, but we kind of get in too deeply, so we got caught several times, but I think we played quite well today. It was Rakan and Malphite. What kind of shot calls did you have in the pick ban? We practiced with Malphite a lot in the scrims, but I wasn't really sure if we can win with the composition, but I'm happy that we won the game. They really rely on their ults a lot, but it's really powerful, so I recommend all the players to use it. It was so Malphite and Rakan. Didn't you want to play Yasuo mid? Well, if I didn't pick Oriana first, I could have played Yasuo. Then last message for your fans. I'm really happy to make 2-0 games. So we will try harder and work our best to make it to the 2-0 games to all the upcoming matches. Well, my dad has birthday tomorrow, so I want to send him some message. And I sent my presents to my brother, so I hope you get it. And I think I got the MVP points as his present, so happy birthday, Daddy. And is there anything you want to say to Smab? Well, he's all up below me right now, so I want him to keep up with his hard work. And if I'm in this consistent form, I'm sure that I'll be the MVP number 1. And this was the end of the interview. Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you very much, Ji-sun. Obviously, Kuro on top right now in terms of MVP points. Having a couple of words for Smeb, who is right below him and getting closer.
Kuro did have 100% kill participation that last game, and uh-oh.
Whoa,
There's
they
red
turned
on
red.
that screen.
What happened?
Someone's bleeding, and it's Ever8. What a freak is not.
Why are they red?
Because they're last. That's what happens. They're in the danger zone.
So mean.
It's the danger zone. No, it's not mean.
The danger zone.
Afreeca's green.
Do we usually have red for the team that loses?
No, this is only the special case for that.
Oh, poor Ever8. Okay, well, hopefully they can turn it around eventually, perhaps next year. Afreeca looking good, though. I mean,
they got to turn it around sooner than that.
I mean,
like next week.
Next week, but they're basically, not even basically, I think they're 100% in relegation.
Yeah,
so I guess they got to look forward to that. They got to make sure they stay around in LCK because this is where the real money is made, of course. The real plays are made. You don't want to be down there and challenge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a very quick last series. Our first one was extremely slow, actually. We had 3 long games that went to like 45 minutes. But this one was 2 back-to-back stomps, 27 minutes, 26 minutes. What do you think?
Well, SKT did 2-0 them pretty handedly, and same with Afreeca. They're looking good towards playoffs.
Yeah, so guys, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.